Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. So today we're going to be building a simple shelf. I got the idea, the design from DIY creators on YouTube. So I'm just going to start by cutting the boards down to rough size. We're going to make two shelves, one at 3 foot long and another at 2 foot. I am purposely leaving the boards a little bit longer because sometimes the planer will leave some snipe, and this way, if it does, I can always take off the snipe by making the boards a little short. So this wood I'm using is actually just poplar. It's some that I had laying around, and the board is about 12.5 inches wide, and so I'm ripping them down to 5.5 inches wide. So my idea was that after I rip these at 5.5 inches, I would have a small drop. It was going to be about an inch or better than an inch. So I'm hanging on to those drops because I will use those later also. The boards are still a little too thick, so we're going to go ahead and run them through the thickness planer and get them to about 3/4 of an inch. Cleaning up after running the thickness planer is always such a chore. I wouldn't mind in the future upgrading to a planer that's got dust collection built into it. That'd be nice. So now I'm just cutting the boards to their final lengths. So we'll have two boards at 3 foot and another two at 2 foot. There was two more small pieces that need to be cut, and if I'm not mistaken, these were cut at 10 inches, two per shelf. Since it was just going to be a simple shelf, I went ahead and decided to use pocket holes to put this together. Something quick and easy that I could get done within the same day. Now this is what all the boards look like, already cut, ripped, and with pocket holes. And after that we can go ahead and start assembly. So one of the convenient things about working with pocket holes is that they're very easy to hide. I like to put them all on the same side, on the same bottom, for example, here. That way, whenever the shelf is right side up, all the pocket holes are hidden. So I can go ahead and start assembling the second shelf. It's going to be done exact same way, only it's just a little bit shorter. It's 2 foot long. And also, the pocket holes are they're not a necessity. If you don't have a correct jig, I wouldn't let that stop you from attempting to make a shelf like this. You could always just screw from the outside in, or you could even nail them. Wood glue doesn't hurt also. You could even go to a lumber yard and buy 1x6s, and it would be almost exact same measurement as what I'm making here. After getting the shelves assembled with all the screws, I decided it'd be a good time to go ahead and start getting some sanding done and out of the way. So I decided I wanted to have soft edges, so I'm using a 1/2 inch round over bit just to round off all the exterior corners and make for a smooth exterior on the shelf. And I'm doing this on both shelves on all the edges. And afterwards, I went ahead and sanded it again just to make sure I get all the burrs off. This is just a small hand trim router that I have. I've got a small 1/4 inch radius round over bit in it, and I'm just running it along all the inside edges of the shelf. And of course, it's followed by some more sanding. The problem with using a round over bit in your corners on your inside is you get these round corners, and so I like to take a chisel and just clean them up a little bit, and after that just hit them with some sandpaper, and it just makes them look a little bit sharper, a little bit more professional. And these small boards were the drops from the first couple of cuts. I'm just cleaning them up because they were a little rough on one edge, and we're going to use these as the back brace to help to have something to screw to whenever we get ready to hang them on the wall. So we'll cut them down to length, slap a little bit of glue on them, and just use a pin nailer and slap some nails in it. And of course, we're going to do the same thing to the smaller shelf. You just want to be careful and make sure that your nails aren't too long and won't go through. And now all that's left is just to go ahead and get them painted up and let them dry so we can hang them up. I usually just go ahead and screw the shelves directly into a stud, and just use a torpedo level just to make sure you're nice and level. And that's about it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.